As I've said in previous videos, I do recommend a rack wireless 8 dBi omnidirectional antenna. Generally, this antenna is because one, I don't often know other brands. I can't trust them, and so I like the rack wireless. Omnidirectional because I don't know where you are, and honestly, if you can put a signal in all directions, why not? Or look for signals in all directions, why not? And thirdly, 9 dBi is going to be the POCV11 limit, and so yeah, this is an 8. If I could get a 9, I probably would. I'm seriously considering looking at some 10s when using LMR 400 cable just to get it to a 9. But that's a whole another story. The second part of what I tell people is that it should be as high up as possible with as few obstructions as possible. Now, it's easy to say this stuff, but what is our proof? And so I wanted to do some testing about this. Now, before we talk about the testing, I want to talk about the Helium network. To me, the Helium network is just a black box. I don't know what exactly is happening in that black box and how information gets determined. For example, let's just talk about witnessing and beaconing. How is that determined? How is it determined when your hotspot decides to beacon? I've seen beacons occur twice in an hour and then nothing for 48 hours. I know people who say they haven't had a beacon in 3 or 4 days. That being said, you may see many witnesses, but how are witnesses determined? I mean, we know that if something only has 3 witnesses, obviously it's only because 3 other hotspots were able to witness it. But what if something has 18 witnesses? How did they determine those 18? What if there were 50 hotspots that actually witnessed that beacon going off? How did it pick the 18? Did it determine it based off of distance or strength of the signal? I would like to know this information. Maybe some of you already know where to find this information. If you do, please feel free to post it in the comments. But to me, this is a black box situation. And so I have to do things as someone might do in quality assurance in terms of black box testing, which means data goes in, data comes out. You don't know what happens inside. So that's what I did. I took one 8 dBi rack wireless omnidirectional antenna and one minted gold spot miner limited edition. And well, I put them in different locations. So in my house. So I have one in my attic, one on the second floor at the top window, and one outside on the front porch. And I wanted to see, well, which one is going to make more H&T. Unfortunately, we have had network issues, and these have only really gotten up and running again a couple days ago. And then that said, I got to go drop these off tomorrow. I have places to do installs. I have other tests I'm doing. And so I can't really get like good empirical evidence for us to look over a period of 7 or 8 days and see what's happened. I can only give you a snapshot of what's going on now. So let's take a look at this, but just understand that this is more anecdotal than true empirical data. So I hope you find it useful, but don't read into it too much. So here is my first antenna. Dazzling Crimson Rabbit. It is in the attic, up high as possible, right next to my heater in the attic. And it's pretty much just in the center of my attic, or just basically closer to the door to get up here. Because, well, that's where the plug is, and it was just easy to plug it in right here. I'd hoped other people had this kind of option in their attic, but apparently most do not. The second antenna we have here is Shaggy Iris Possum. It is sitting next to a broken Samsung printer upstairs where most of its view is blocked by the house next door. But if it wasn't, it would have a great view of all downtown. Now, I'm not sure how much this house really blocks the signal, but we'll find out. And the last antenna in this test is short cloth peacock. Now, short cloth peacock, as you can see, is blocked by some giant pieces of wood on either side. And to be honest, the way this was set up, unfortunately, we get a lot of wind out here, and it fell over a couple times, at least twice in the past 48 hours. But that being said, let's see what the numbers are. Okay, so some other details that may be important. All of these hotspots are relayed. All of these hotspots are spoofed within 1,200 meters of me for this test. During the planning of this test, unfortunately, everything but shaggy iris possum went down. So until that update on the 30th, everything was offline. Things came online again then around that time. And by December 1st, we could get some hard numbers. So here at the end of the day, also, I'm sorry, one more thing. Dazzling Crimson Rabbit, then the spoofed location it went to. Someone else then added their hotspot miner there, and that brought the reward scale down to 50%. I honestly don't think that made any difference because look at the numbers. So for right now, we are looking at Dazzling Crimson Rabbit at 0.591 over the last 24 hours. And that is, again, upstairs in the attic. If we look at Shaggy Iris Possum, that is in my window, and that's doing 0.509. And then, again, it did fall over a couple times for sure overnight. I don't know how long it had fallen over, but that being said, it was still directed at the city, and it got 0.462. So what does that say? Does that say that actually having it in the attic is better? I'm not sure. If I switch this over and look at things coming from Hotspotty actually shows in the past 24 hours that Dazzling Crimson Rabbit got 0.52 and Shaggy Iris Possum got 0.57, with Short Cloth Peacock trailing at 0.47. So that would suggest that, we're getting better numbers from being in the window than being in the attic. Of course, you're also seeing the differences in the kind of rewards they were getting. Short Cloth Peacock obviously got more rewards that were high transmit scale. What does that mean? Why did it get more? I don't know. That's these kinds of things that have me curious in saying we need more data to know what's happening. If I push even forward more, if I look back to Wednesday, I can see that my total for 24 hours for Dazzling Crimson Rabbit was 0.52 and Shaggy Iris Possum 0.57, but Short Cloth Peacock at that point was 0.53, which seems to me to say that whether it is inside versus outside didn't really seem to matter. In fact, Short Cloth Peacock, when it didn't fall over, because it hadn't during that time, was doing pretty well and does better than being in my attic. So being outdoors was better than my attic, but even with the window being up high made more of a difference. Quite frankly, between Hotspotty and Explorer.helium.com and the actual app, I don't know who to trust. So point being is, I'm sorry everybody, but this information is inconclusive. I find it inconclusive. I don't think that we can go by anything except to know that, yes, these are all good locations. I'm not sure one is necessarily better than the other. I'm not sure the amount of H&T difference that you're seeing truly matters if we could get just a 7-day spread at the very least to see, and also a judgment on whether switching miners would make a difference. If we moved the miners to different locations, is it a minor issue? I don't know, but I love trying to do tests like this. I hope I can do more. If you want me to get real empirical evidence over a 30-day period, please like and subscribe. Put that data in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Like I said, these got to go. I had these up. They were running for maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday now. And like I said, one's going to a new house, the other's going to a new house, and the third one is going to be used for my solar panel test. That is coming up this weekend. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and happy mining.